Welcome back, everybody, to Country of Sports. Today we are starting my college football 2019-2020 season predictions, and we are going to start with the team that missed out on a national championship last year, but will probably be coming back strong, and that is the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, without further ado, let's get started. First up, in Atlanta, the Duke Blue Devils. Now, this game will be kind of away from home. I mean, I'm sure a ton of Tide fans will show up, and Atlanta is astronomically more close to Tuscaloosa than North Carolina. But yeah, Duke is a good team, I guess, but they're not going to hold a candle to the Crimson Tide, and I'm guessing this will probably be one of the biggest blowouts on the schedule. That's pretty much a gimme game, so we'll go ahead and give that to Alabama. Same with the next game, New Mexico State. The Aggies aren't necessarily a terrible team, but it's in Tuscaloosa, far away from New Mexico, and they won't once again hold a candle to the Tide. So Alabama starts out 2-0, and then they have an actual really tough game. Now, I have 3 games on the schedule that I mark as really close. That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll only play 3 really good teams, but these are the 3 games that I think we need to watch out for most. I may move that up to 4, but we'll discuss that when we get onto it. The first of those games is South Carolina. Now, the Gamecocks are they're going to be good this year. If you tune in for my later videos, which make sure you subscribe to do that, South Carolina does have an extremely tough schedule, so they probably will be wore down. But at this point in the season, they've got 2 easy games to start out, I'm pretty sure. So they'll be playing Alabama at home, and this is honestly something that the Tide have to watch out for. They will play great, and they will play with a chip on their shoulder. And I think that even though Alabama does get the win, this will be one of the closest games on the schedule. So although they are 3-0, they barely escape coming out of South Carolina. So next up is Southern Miss, another game that will probably be a gimme. This will probably be one of the closest games out of the Duke, New Mexico State, and Southern Miss kind of trilogy, I guess. But Alabama will still win that. And then they've got Ole Miss at home, probably another one of those 66-3 wins or whatever that we've had the past couple of years against the Ole Miss Rebels. So yeah, at this point Alabama's going to the bye week. They're 5-0. And next up is at Texas A&M. This is another one of the games that I've marked as close. Texas A&M will be better this year probably, and they always play as close on the schedule. Now, I think this is one of those games that Alabama always has where it gets really close, but at the end they kind of pull away. I don't think it'll necessarily be like years past where Texas A&M is the one trying to pull back into it. I think that Alabama will pull away in the end, but watch out for that game because Texas A&M, the Aggies, will be good. Next up is Tennessee. That's a pretty easy game to predict. Tennessee will be better this year, much better than years past. But I mean, we blew them out last year in Tennessee, so I think that a home game is pretty much a gimme at that point. Arkansas. Once again, Arkansas will probably be the team at the very bottom in the SEC. Not necessarily bad, or bad, but not necessarily horrible, but nothing compared to Alabama. Next up, we've got another bye. At this point, Alabama is 8-0, feeling great. And then they've got a home game against LSU. Now, this will probably be another game that I would add on. But I'm kind of skeptical of how LSU will play in Alabama. I mean, usually these games end up being close. But, I mean, last year we had a big win against them. And the year before, it was a fairly big win against them. The only time it was really close was a couple years ago when it was that 10-0 game. But LSU isn't as good, or they are as good, but Alabama is much better. Alabama will be improved this year and playing angry. So LSU, that will probably be a win for the Tide. Then traveling all the way to Mississippi State, not actually that far. That's one of the closest rivalries they have, but nonetheless, it will probably be a win. The Bulldogs will still be great this year, or really good at least, but once again, a recurring theme with a lot of the teams on the schedule is that they'll be good or really good or even great, and some may be in SEC contention, but they can't hold a candle to the Alabama Crimson Tide. So I have Mississippi State losing that game, and at this point Alabama is 10-0. Then they'll play Western Carolina. That's another gimme game. That's one of the 4 gimme games on the schedule. And then finally closing out with Auburn. Now, this is the last game on the schedule that I say is close and then we need to watch out for. Auburn beat Alabama in Auburn a couple years ago, and this is shaping up to look somewhat like that. I won't reveal what I have Auburn looking like up to that point, but I think that They will play Alabama close. Do I think that they'll win? Not necessarily. Alabama will be playing angry all year, and I don't think Nick Saban will let them overlook the Tigers this year. But it will be a really close game as always, and Alabama will prevail in the end. So at this point, Alabama is 12-0. I do have them making the ACC championship. This is pretty much a gimme. This is one of the easiest things to predict year after year. Unless Auburn or LSU or Texas A&M or even Mississippi State really makes some miraculous run, Alabama will be in the ACC championship, and this is another easy schedule to predict. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever we upload the rest of our college football predictions. SEC will probably be the primary conference we have. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Always keep guy number 1. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.